Sheep farmers in Australia are facing a plague of wild dogs, which threatens to undermine the industry. There's been a sharp decline in the sheep flock in the past 20 years, and wild dogs are partially to blame, particularly in some of the blue ribbon wool growing regions of Queensland. The sheep industry in the Tambo region of central Queensland was the birthplace of the labour unions in the 1920s and was historically the economic powerhouse of the state. Many local graziers have a long and proud family history in wool growing, going right back to the early settlers. But the current generation of farmers face challenges like never before.
Since the 80s, the wild dog incursion and the total grazing pressure issues are much greater than ever recorded before. 600 dogs, I think, our group has cleaned up over 3 years for the 4 properties. We've lost 2 lambings, almost completely.
Despite the Tambo cluster being on the southern side of the government-constructed wild dog barrier fence, some farmers in the region have been completely driven out of sheep.
Our lambing just dropped dramatically, and we virtually got to the stage where we had to shift the sheep from here, and the dogs just kept following the sheep, and we eventually went out of sheep.
Frustrated by stock losses, wool growers have banded together to undertake a huge fencing infrastructure project with a view to excluding wild dogs.
We got about 13, I think, individual property owners together, incorporating a bit over 700,000 acres, and it's in 2 groups, which we sort of have a western group of about 100,000 acres and the southern group of about 620. And it's basically, I think, 300 kilometres of fence all up, and our main aim was to try and control the movement of dogs in.
Not only has the fencing project given hope for the wool industry in central Queensland, but it's also brought farmers together over a shared problem.
It's brought some of our neighbours together, very close. There was great camaraderie and a lot of fun.
The Tambo Cluster project was supported by South West NRM to ensure the infrastructure will stand the test of time and provide a long-term solution for wool growers. The organisation helped with the initial costs of the multi-million-dollar project, but required a watertight plan for maintenance of the fence.
What we've done with this model is to say to them, here's half the money of the cost of your fencing, you put the other half in, but you have to own this so it's a body corporate of everybody, including the people that are inside the fence but don't have a fence on their place. They all own it as a body corporate structure. They have a sinking fund, and these are all legal documents that they have with South West NRM.
With the fence now constructed, the benefits are already starting to show, with reduced grazing pressure from roos, as well as a feeling of hope that once all the dogs are removed from inside the fence, graziers can get back to rebuilding the sheep industry in the region.
I have no doubt that, the effects are almost immediate, not for me yet because I haven't started lambing, but I start to lamb very shortly. And I'm hoping to go from about 8% lambing to about 80%. The economic effect on areas and towns and people is almost immediate, and that's the lesson from other projects around the country.